Today in the Smuggler's Room, we're going to be finishing part 4 of our action figure display case.
What's going on?
Not much. He's just telling everybody about part 4 of the action figure display.
Wow, he's animated today.
Oh yeah, he's amped, totally.
Well, let's hope he doesn't mess this thing up now. And I'm serious, if he says Greebly again today, I'm gonna scream.
And once we get all of that tied together, all we'll have to do is add a few more Greeblies. That's coming up. What's up, you awesome geeks? I'm Brian, and welcome to the Smuggler's Room, the show where each week this chubby geek tries to build something ridiculous and hopefully inspire you to take on your own wild and crazy project. So hey, thank you guys for watching all the episodes of our action figure display case and all your comments and feedback. It's been so much appreciated. And if you're new here, don't worry, I won't hold a womp rat against you or anything. Just hit that subscribe button and the bell and you'll be geeking out with us every single week. Now we have an absolute bantha load to get to today, so let's get to it. So far we've built several pieces for this display, and all of those individual projects have to now be put together inside of a frame. So we need to break down all the material that we're going to use for that.
So you think we're really gonna get a box this time? You know, permanently?
Yeah, I think there's a solid 48% chance. I mean, he's actually building it, so...
Yeah, I suppose that's a good sign.
Woo! Once we have the pieces cut, then we just have to glue and clamp everything for the frame together.
You know, he did a heck of a job with these clamps.
What would you know about clamps?
You'd be amazed at what I know about medium density fiberboard integrity.
Yeah, I'm sure I would be.
I did a quick layout of the action figures in the frame to get an idea of how many shelves I would actually need to make. This also helped with the spacing between action figures and between the individual shelves. For the backdrop behind the figures, I wanted to use styrene. This would allow me to take a razor blade and scribe lines in using a metal ruler. This doesn't show up really well on camera, but once you hit it with some paint or primer, those lines tend to pop out and you get an added level of detail. We then used our nibbler tool to add some more cut detail in strips of styrene and then glued that down to the backdrop. I then used strips of styrene. Now these things are really cool and they come in all different types of shapes and lengths. I'll make sure to put a link in the description where you can find this material below. I also did a bit of kit bashing on this project, and I've shown this technique before in other videos. But the simplest explanation is it's taking parts and pieces from a variety of model kits and then adding them to your project to provide additional detail.
You setting up the backdrop for us?
Yep, picking out the Greeblies.
I think this one would be great.
Great for what?
For behind me.
Behind you? What makes you think you're gonna get to choose? Face it, dude. You're no Boba Fett.
Hey, Chubby, this one would be great.
Put your hand down, you idiot.
Once all the details are added, I laid down a coat of primer and followed that up with a layer of silver. From there, I went in with some water-based oil paints and a small brush and added weathering details to the entire backdrop. Because, you know, space is, it's dirty. Now off camera, I painted up the frame and then we sealed it with clear coat. Then it was time to go ahead and install and fit in our other project pieces. Now, let me tell you, because I made this thing epically perfect and square in every direction, the main project part fit a little too snugly. So I sort of mashed up my paint job. I guess I shouldn't be so perfect in the future. So the next step is going to be to install the backdrop and the shelves for the action figures. Now I didn't show you making the individual shelf portion, but it's the same process that I used in the backdrop, gluing the styrene down and scribing the lines. Alright, let's talk about the LED electronics portion of this build. I used a roll of RGB LEDs. And the great thing about this strip is that there are a section every 20 inches or so where you can cut the solder connection apart. Then you can use your own length of wire and join each section together however far apart you want to make them. Now, the soldering together of your wires to these connections takes a steady hand, and you want to make sure not to use too much solder or you'll accidentally join two of these connections together. Another cool thing about this strip is that it has a remote that comes with it, so we'll be able to do some cool automation for this display later. Now, I got super lucky because the lengths of the strips of RGB happen to match my shelves perfectly. I mean, I cut the shelves the exact length of the LED strips because I plan ahead and I'm super smart with stuff. One other little bit of detail I used on the shelf was the plastic from a window frame. Now, this is the part that holds your screen in place. You can get this stuff at the big box stores and it comes in 6-foot and 8-foot lengths. It's super inexpensive and it's easy to work with. All right, so our shelves are installed, the lighting is wired, and now we need to fill in all the gaps and spaces of our project. So we need to add some tubes, some additional wire, and we need to greebly the ever-living do-back out of this project.
Kid did all right.
Kid? He's 41 years old.
How long is that in dog years?
Seriously, dude?
I think I'll snag that spot on the top shelf.
I doubt that'll be your spot.
I'm a Hoth rebel commander, bro.
Uh-huh.
I lead troops into the Battle of Hoth.
Sure.
Against AT-ATs.
And you're still no Boba Fett.
Whatever. He can go right to the bottom right-hand corner where he belongs.
What's up, guys?
Oh! I think there's a spot for you up there on top, man.
As you wish.
The gang here's been boxed up for too long, and I think this new display is going to go really nice in our basement project. I have some custom programming I want to do on the iPad, and of course, all the other things that are going to go around this display, but that'll have to wait for another day.
What about us, man?
Yeah, where's our custom display?
So yeah, I guess the 12-inch figures will need something built for them too. And just for your information, they're not dolls. They're 12-inch action figure replicas. But they'll have to wait until we build them something out of nothing.
It bloody well sucks in here.
What are you complaining about? I've been smelling your backside for 20 years.
All right, who did that?